Keir Starmer is in China this week, the first visit by a UK leader in 8 years, but he's gone in expecting trouble. His entire delegation has been issued with burner phones and throwaway laptops with strict instructions, no personal devices, because of fears about spying. Joining me now is Sky News contributor Kosha Garda. Kosha, Starmer taking burner phones to China. What does that tell you about how much trust really exists here?
Probably not a lot. James, great to be with you as always. But, you know, I guess that's the nature of geopolitics. Everybody spies on everybody, some even friends, allies alike, as well as adversaries. Some do it a little bit more within maybe the remit of sort of a rules order understanding. People like China or actors like China might be a little bit more brazen and state-run in how they do it. But the reality is China's a major power. That is how they operate. They're very good at espionage. Everybody knows it. And the UK and everybody else has to figure out a way to work with them, notwithstanding the fact that the trust is inherently going to be low.
Well, I was going to say, if you need to take a throwaway laptop just to do diplomacy, I'm not sure how you build any real trust. And, of course, this is happening while the UK is allowing the Chinese to build a massive embassy in the centre of London, close to communication cables. Is there not a disconnect between those two positions?
Yes, I think there's a lot of disconnect where if you want to take a realist's view of how to work with a power like China, that is a manufacturing hub of the world, 1 billion people, there are diasporas all over the place. There are other things such as, okay, the embassy that you mentioned, immigration policy is like the big elephant in the room of how much you're allowing them into Western universities, and is that where spycraft is happening, among other things, trade relationships, all of that. And it feels often like a lot of these Western powers are not really taking any of that stuff seriously, while maybe showboating a little bit about China, and then doing things like this, which feels a little bit performative. I don't think taking burner laptops and phones is the answer if you're turning a blind eye to all of those other things, if you're really serious about shaking up the relationship and the way you manage China.
Indeed. All right, let's go to the US. Jimmy Kimmel has broken down in tears on air after Minneapolis ICU nurse Alex Pretti was shot dead in an altercation with ICE agents. Kimmel says he spent the weekend shocked and sick and told the Pretti family, "You are not alone." Have a look.
If our leaders are intentionally creating and encouraging violence and fear, then I hope you will also agree we need new leaders, because these are not leaders. And to the people of Minneapolis, to the Pretti family and the Good family, and these people who were looking out for their neighbors, we want you to know that we are with you and you are not alone.
Now, Kosha, everyone believes the death of Pretti was a tragedy, but has Jimmy Kimmel ever cried about US citizens being assaulted, raped or murdered by illegals?
That would be a no, and it really is extra unfortunate, or again, performative, actually, just to go back to that point, because Jimmy Kimmel loves to cry on camera. He loves it. I was looking it up. He cried at the end of his show, like his closing episode of 2025. He cried after he was taken off the air because of the way he handled Charlie Kirk, who I also note he did not shed a tear for, but did quite the opposite. He cried the day after Trump got elected in 2024. His very next show, he shed tears over that. So he seems to have no problem shedding a whole bunch of tears for all sorts of things, but I don't think he ever found one for Lake and Riley or Jocelyn and Garve and all these other examples of people, Kate Steinle, who have been brutalized, assaulted, and killed by illegals. The feds are doing their job. As you say, it is tragic. It is a mess, for sure, the way things are going down there. But that is unfortunately what it looks like. If you've got upwards of 20 million illegals, you have states that are not cooperating with the feds. You had the population that voted for this mandate, and the team is trying to deliver on that mandate. And unfortunately, that does get ugly.
A reporter at the Australian Open tennis tournament wanted to talk about Trump's controversial roundup of illegal migrants. But a US tennis player, Lerner Tien, was having none of it. Have a look.
It's been a big day for both you and Iva Jovic. You really sort of feel like the future of American tennis between you. It's also interesting that you're both second-gen immigrants to the US. Like, in the context of everything that's happening at the moment with Trump and ICE, like, what does your heritage mean to you, and how important are immigrants to America and American sport today?
Sorry, I don't really want to talk about that right now.
I love this sportsman. How refreshing was that, Kosher? I just want to talk about tennis. I'm not going to do politics, thanks.
Very. It reminded me of Sydney Sweetie, who went viral doing something similar a couple of months ago. And, of course, the OG Michael Jordan and his famous line in the 90s, Republicans buy sneakers too. Definitely refreshing. And I think they're still in the minority, but it is nice to see a couple of them break ranks. And you know what? Just stick to your lane is what I would say to journalists. Talk about sports.
Melania Trump's got a documentary hitting cinemas on Friday. Amazon have spent, around $40 million on the project, with another almost $40 million marketing it. I did laugh at a bit of the trailer. Have a look at this.
Hi, Mr. President. Congratulations.
Did you watch it?
I did not. Yeah, I will see it on the news.
Kosher, are you going to go and see the Melania documentary?
I think if for nothing else, the fashion will be glorious. We all know that, so it'll be fun. And she really is a walking, living, breathing indictment to the fashion industry. To that point, everybody always talks about how they have snubbed her, never put her on a cover, even though she literally was a fashion model. So I think that part would be fun. And it's also going to be interesting commercially to see how it does. They're very polarizing figures, as we know, and I'm very curious to see how many people pay for tickets and turn out to watch it.
Absolutely. Well, it opens this weekend. Kosher Garda, I'll see you at the movies. Thanks for joining me.